How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome to the Delphi Priestess. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys on Instagram and on YouTube for being here. Hold on. No, Isis. Delphi Priestess. Thank you. No, you told you can't be here when I'm done here. For, being here.
Just want to say hello for a little bit. Hello, guys. I love you. I love you so much.
Hmm?
For being here. Just want to say hello for a little bit. Hello, guys.
It's over there.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Stop digging your nose is disgusting. It's not hygienic.
Where?
Just go and it's in the restroom.
Because you're going to have blood.
Come on now. Anyway, I'm just on here. I'm supposed to say I'm mandated. Mandated. It's an obligation. It's a duty. So I have to come on here to talk, period. I'm still working. See, I got the microphone, assuming that the microphone was the end all be all. Um, but it's not. It's not an end all be all. This microphone, it's the fee fine. If you go inside the bathroom, my restroom, you'll find the bar of soap right there in the bathroom. Go look. This is not easy. Um, hey guys. Hey, Xavier Perez. I don't know why I call you Xavier. Um, you've been following me for a while. What do you think about all of this in terms of spirituality? What are your spiritual goals? I'm on Instagram, my YouTubers. So I it's like, oh, no comment, no comment. I'm getting that you are spiritual too. You tap in, but you're shy and this and that. I'm gonna see if I can invite you. Obviously, you don't have to join, but if you're interested in an opinion, spark an opinion on this because you've been here for a while. So what are your interests, Mr. Perez? Then you just watch Snoop. That's what I noticed. All you guys are my followers. You guys watch and Snoop. So a lot of this is is for the new people that'll be coming very soon, that'll be part of this very soon. Um, I very much hold the space, and I know I'm gonna have to work harder because there's a lot against me. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm fabricating it. Well, I'm gonna also fabricate success story for myself, so that's what it is. Um, my husband says I'm fabricating it. I'm just making it up, whatever. But yeah, I'm a Delphi priestess. And like I was saying, all women are oracles. All women are oracles. So don't everybody just come on here. If you're not interested, don't be interested. That's okay. I'm not looking for followers. I'm looking for people that are genuinely interested. So if you're on here, the rule of thumb is to speak. If you're on here, have an opinion or don't have one at all. So you got to interact or you don't just snoop and just watch and this and that. Have an opinion. Then you shouldn't be on here. If you don't want to go live, that's fine. You can go live, but if you don't want to go live, don't go live. But if you have an opinion or else don't be here. Yes, that goes for you, big blunts. Anyway, so I've been in this journey for a while. It's very controversial and it's hard. It's not easy, but it's a calling. So it's a calling. I have a lot in store. And that's what it is for me. Okay. And clear up the space a little bit. Unfortunately, we have to fix the audio. I have to still fix the audio. I'm gonna fix it. Like I said, like I told people on YouTube, I did set up the I did get the because I have a lot of opinions. Okay, so what are your opinions? I do share. I have absolutely no quarrels with you. I have no issues. You to express your opinion. What was I gonna say? Yes, so I got the mic one step closer for the audio on YouTube. So this is for people basically on the Instagram that's gonna hear this later. I'm a Delphi priestess oracle. All women are Delphi priestess oracles. All women are oracles. This is for the rise of the divine feminine. This is the rise of the divine feminine. This is the rise of the divine feminine. This is a call on the rise of divine feminine. You don't need to understand what I'm doing. I'm always getting, oh, I don't understand. Well, take your time, tap in and see, meditate. What is this? What's the call? What is this? Does it resonate? If it doesn't, don't waste your time. Do never waste your time in anything that doesn't resonate with you. All right. So that's that. So I'm gonna play a little bit of my third eye singing bowl. I've had this for years, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that. The crystalline grid comes forward. The crystalline grid does come forward. The crystalline grid comes forward. The crystalline grid says it doesn't look for perfection, but it does look for loyalty, consistency, and a certain level of genuinity, being genuine and love. I see that. The crystalline grid is a lot. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Thank you for being here. This is the Delphi Priestess crystalline grid channeling. I do speak light language. The space is sacred, all the same. That's the vibration I hold, all in my imperfection. That's what it is for me. That's my calling. Shield cloak. That's the frequency. Yangawi Straite, Baphometian Cho, Galactic Siege, Metatron, Zeus is in fruition. No negative energies, entities, technologies are allowed to be in this sacred space. I hold the divinity within me to stand tall and in grace. The Delphi Priestess is one and the same, the Golden Dragon, and much more. The call is from within. Everyone to go in, take a deep breath. The crystalline grid, selenite crystalline grid consciousness watches, covers, protects, cloaks Acts as a great cloaking. No negative eyes or energies or entities are supposed to see you. It's a frequency higher than that of the negative AI. There's negative AI, negative frequencies that hold humanity back. So hydration, meditation, sun gazing, and fasting holds a frequency to put you there. I very much am working on the fasting part. That's usually the hardest part for me. I've gone 3 weeks fasting, just straight water fast, cooking, walking, doing what I have to do and not eating, just fasting, meditating, hydrating, meditating and fasting. So meditating and fasting is not easy. I hope she doesn't mess up those books I have. So I'm looking to see who's looking to have. Let me see. Orion Priest, I know you have opinions. Deliver some insight since you're here. Deliver some insight. Yeah. Deliver some insight. Deliver some insight. Yeah, what brings you here? What brings you here? What brings you here? I'm a Delphi Priestess. I've been in this journey for 4 years. I've had my ups and downs in spirituality and managing my personal life. I speak of things, hold on. I speak of things that are very controversial. So, I go to the bank like this. And they all look at me like, what is this? What do you mean, what is this? This is what it is for me. I dress like this. And then I have to read this book. So no one's better than anyone here. A lot of people always that I followed have a certain persona of that they're better than others and this and that. Oh, you're unable to join. Or did you decline? That's fine. Or you can. I can't read right now. You see me busy, beautiful.
Just read one book, please.
No. I'm after I'm done, Mama. She loves books. I'm very happy for that. Books, my daughter. No, Mama. Isis. Isis? Isis. Mama. After I'm done. Okay, then I won't read it. I won't read it. Yes, I'm crazy. So let me read this when I'm done, sweetheart.
Please, it's gonna be fair. Please.
No, this is a long little book. I can't read this.
This one book.
Maybe there is a message. No, I read this book. I read over and over before. I read this book.
I don't know.
This is about learning how to count. 1, 2, 3.
It's not count. It's one of my numbers.
Yeah, you're gonna read it for me.
One bus. Two, 1. 1, 2, 3.
4.
Okay, so I leave.
Mama, let me finish this because I have to focus. Hidden. Hidden, yes, right. I know. My own time. My own time. Because I want to talk about like, let me see. I guess, well, I guess it's books. Like, my kids very much are in tune. They're very gifted. So they do, have their downloads and synchronicities themselves. The children are very much their own psychics, their own mediums. One of my challenges said that during the time of magic, when planet Earth had magic, there were children that were born all knowing that would teach the elders. So today we disregard the children's wisdom, but there was children that were born mystics, child prodigies, and they were able to do like a bunch of things. That was my download. That yeah, there was mystics, and they were respected, they were protected. Children were on a pedestal, and I think our society should go back to that, because as adults, it'll be a wonderful society if we actually protect our children on all levels, spiritually, physically, mentally, protect our youth. I'm just big on that whenever possible. I'm looking at the time because I can't stay on too long. But as far as magic, because my vouch, like if they taught magic in schools, that was another thing they said, they used to teach magic in schools. I would be one of them. I would be one of these teachers back in the ancient times that taught magic. So a lot of us are teachers, people that are watching this today and later and now. Tap in. We're all magicians. We're all spiritual. We're all gifted. We're all sacred. We're all unique. And we're all not, well, some are more healers than teachers, but teachers are healers because you could teach healing. So essentially, we're all teachers. We're all leaders. And I feel that a lot of people, when they come on the pedestal, this social medias, they act as if they're the end all be all, when it's supposed to be a community. Because if people didn't feel like they were an end all be all, they wouldn't be competing. What competition? Because the more people there are that are into a certain level of magic and mysticism, the more unity. Magic, spells, affirmation, prayers, metaphysics, healing. Exactly. They're very much one and the same, because all of them are about creation. And that's what the universe is about, creation. Creation. One and the same. And we weren't necessarily demonizing magic or spells or affirmation or prayers or metaphysics or healing. Because in the medical field, I'm a nurse, we demonize healing. In religion, we demonize a certain level of incantations, affirmations, because there's a misunderstanding. Someone told me that black cats are evil. This one's evil because he scratches everything. Huh? Tell him I'm evil. Huh? No, black cats are sweet. Huh?
I love the baby cats.
Black cats are sweet.
And baby cats are sweet because they're sweeter because they always do scratch babies.
I love you, Mama. Here, put this in the garbage.
So.
What do you do when you're finished with something?
Turn chairs.
Okay, so go ahead. Go do it. Go do it, sweetheart.
Itchy.
Okay, go itch over there, Mama. Anyway, that's what the rise of the divine principle, feminine principles, divine matriarchy is very much the calling, which is magic. The feminine principles bring a certain level of magic. The feminine principles bring a certain level of power, magic, unity, love for children. Because my understanding also, which is controversial, is that this is a feminine realm. It's time for the rise of the divine feminine. It's time for the rise of the divine feminine. It's time for the rise of the divine feminine principles, which are very much what this person has said. Magic, spells, affirmation, prayers, meditation. is what, what's left out on that, but metaphysics and healing. So very much metaphysics. Um Thank you guys. I feel better now. I don't know why I feel good. I feel like, okay, I think that's what it was. All day I'm like, I have to make time to come on here. It's literally a soul obligation to come on here, whether someone's watching or not. I've at this point, it's like you gotta get on here. You gotta do this. So I'm very much in place today. Um I'm very much in place today. Like the audio sounds great. That's what I like. This audio is great. But I need to find an audio that works well with music and sound. So we're gonna be working with that so that you guys can hear it and know it. No, mama. If the cat's running, let the cat run. Yes. Um, my daughter is very much like that cartoon that used to hug, like just hug the crap out of the animals. And the animals are like, no, let me breathe. So they always kind of run away from her when they come. So it's kind of that going on for her right now. Um, so that's very much my goal is a certain level of community, a certain level of peace, certain level of love. Um, and that's very much the case. So I don't see if I have any channelings. I don't feel like I have any. I feel like a little bit of imposter syndrome right now because I feel like what's going on in my personal life is not to be allowed to affect my spiritual life when I'm on here. This is like my spiritual moment. Oh, that's what's missing also is a certain level of, there you go, some lights, a little bit of magic. Well, over here it looks different. Always on Instagram, it looks a little different. Anyway, thank you guys all that are going to watch this. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I've noticed my followers follow me, but they don't follow me for the right reasons. I have those, a handful that just snoop, that just watch, just want to see what am I up to? What am I thinking? What do you mean? Don't do that. Don't snoop. If you're not interested, don't be interested, you know, or at least contribute so I could understand how and why you're not interested after all these years of being on here because there is a certain level of hold on my social medias and this and that and the other thing to make me feel a certain way about being on the internet. I don't. I don't. Because it's a calling, it's intuition, or else I wouldn't do it because I have better things to do. Being honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. Got better things. There are a lot of things to do. So when I spend like a few minutes on here to talk to people, I genuinely coming from my heart space, my mind, and everything else. Hey, 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 how are you? What's going on with you? What's going on with you? I was just talking. Peace, peace, peace. What's going on with you? Okay, okay, okay,
We dig a hole. We dug a hole for the last few days, little by little. And then we put the coals on there. We bought some coals and we bought some wood up in Lake Gregory. And because we've been doing it since the beginning of the summer solstice. And so we've been burning out certain energies, positive and negative energies, because of the sources they come from. And like, so that we can open up room and burning certain property too. certain physical things,
Oh.
schedule, and physical properties that I or some of the other individuals were being held back by blockages. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we did all that. And then I swear I had so much energy, I just went and sparred with 2 dudes.
Oh, wow.
No sleep, none of that for 2 days. And I just handled them, and them dudes got to be like 15 years younger than me. It's the ceremony, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The energy.
Yeah, you're as young as you feel you are, you know, and you're always active. You're always proactive, taking the preventative measures of stagnating energy and aging. Because as long as you're moving, you probably move more than me. I need to start moving more. So that's good. I love that. I always like watching your stuff when you're doing your exercises. And when you sent me the link, I saw a lot of your work. And I was like, oh, I'm subscribed to him. I never taken the time to actually look through your broadcast on YouTube. But I am subscribed. I like it. I like your stuff.
Thank you. Gratitude.
And I didn't know you were on this journey for so long too. When I looked at a lot of it, I didn't know you were on this journey for so long.
I actually, I don't even know how to say it, you know, not like the conversation, but I woke up way back in 1993.
Wow. Wow.
Because I'm actually from a hood. You know, you in California, you know.
Mhm.
So you know how it is. I'm from a hood. I lived in my hood. So it was like having a generationally cursed family coming from a hood that's cursed like that. I was hated for being spiritual, being a spiritual devotee.
Wow.
You know, if I was younger, if I was later, I'd been rich, you know what I mean?
But you're a pioneer. We need, if we didn't have people like you to come forward, we'd probably be scared. We wouldn't know, like, even till this moment, I'm a weirdo. I went to the bank, I go to the gas station dressed like this. Oh.
You know, California can be in certain areas outside of the big city, outside of LA or San Diego. The conservatives, the racism, the classism.
Yeah, it's crazy. Why you say that?
Because you know, you have children, the buffer. I have children like I said, I have a daughter named that, right? Which means right.
My daughter's Isis.
He was born in right.
And her father's name is David.
And so it's like the energy.
Oh.
The
Big
energy
energy.
difference. It wasn't just back then. A lot of people lost their mind because of the energy shift. But
they weren't in the vibration like you were. So there's people like you incarnated to carry that. You don't think so?
I don't even, that's why I said I didn't want to turn it into, it is a great story for people to hear whoever time can listen. I lived in the forest, it's murder rate city. It's called the city of from beginning There was no opportunity. There was nothing. You're hated if you're happy. Like everybody's dying and everybody's turning each other, killing each other from the different neighborhoods. And you go out the neighborhood, you're hunted and you're rejected, right? So it's like no opportunities, nothing. And then I come from one of them messed up families. So it's like I had to fight. I just had a feeling there was something more than running in and out of prison, than being all fucked up and over smoking primos and smoking crack and all that shit. And then there was the jealousy. This nigga think he better.
That's what I'm dealing with women. Women could be so jealous.
I know. That's why I said that a minute ago. You're opening, you doing what I did in a way for like the younger ladies in the younger in that area. We're like put in certain areas. I don't mean to say to bring up the slave thing, but it was like God put itself in different. God and Goddess put itself in different areas around the planet because there was a fall and the human race went into amnesia. But certain people with certain genes were more conscious than other people. And it had to take those that could physically endure such things and still deep within that consciousness, long as the pressure was taken off of them, that consciousness would reawaken. And we're like that, and we're placed all in different places around the world. But we went to get there a few lifetimes ago. We had to get fucked over, like real bad, right? And excuse my language.
Yeah, that's very much what it is. Like the spiritual calling is something where you can get fucked over. And sometimes you're like, is it a test? What is this? By the closest people, by people that you're like, wait a minute, I thought we were in the same team. You know, your mentor. For me, my starting like spiritual leader I looked up to, she was all about sisterhood, but turns out spiritually she was abusing like a almost half of her students. So she was attacking them. Oh, it was crazy. So it's like, who do you, well, you just have to know no one's a guru then. Essentially, you're your own guru. You're your own guru. You follow your path, and those who resonate with the energy, they'll feel it. Your tribe will come as long as you stick to it.
It's deep that we're having this conversation. I was just up in the shower and shit. Like, it's deep that you said that because that's what's going on for some of us. And like I said, I call this ascendance. Actually, I was following you on YouTube. Oh. And yes, it does look different. I caught you on YouTube because I wanted to start following you on YouTube more because it's from my YouTube. Therefore, we can know each other on both, right? Uh-huh. But then I logged in here. I said, no, you were saying some deep stuff. I was like, I need to chime in on that because I wasn't sure if you saw me on YouTube.
I do sometimes. I try to see if I can find anybody, and I don't.
I could show you how to do it. Like if we did a video, one day I could show you how to do those different things. I'm pretty good at YouTube now. At first I wasn't. But I was gonna say, like, I went through a stage, and it's like that ball in, and then they come out, and when they come out, they're so strong that whatever, only certain animals can eat them or kill them, or they'll get killed on contact. It's like that's where the phoenix come from. And so I think people like you and me, like I wrote in my book, I have a book called Outline to Empower, How to Do and What to Know for Evolutionary Living. I put it out, but I pulled it out and I'm rebuilding the book even better. But like, and everybody that bought the book before, I'm giving them a free copy of the new level of it. And like, but I think those of us that go through these struggles are really supposed to be known as the Dalai Lamas. We supposed to be known as these great spiritual leaders. What do you think about that? Don't you feel like people that went through it would be better off as the teachers?
I do think that I'm so conflicted with spirituality sometimes, but I do feel that at this point it's about a community because a lot of people have a lot of self-hate for them because I intuitively have had a lot of spiritual leaders that know me that have thousands of followers don't are that they know their call was to help me, but they consciously chose not to. And they've told me, and they'll tell me, "Oh, I've seen you watch my videos. I know you watch my videos." You would not believe how thousands and thousands of spiritual, I don't want to say thousands of, I mean, they have thousands and thousands of followers. And I'm not gonna name them because you guys are not gonna believe me if I told you. And I don't want the publicity either. um they're well known and they're black. That's what pissed me. I understand if they were white, yeah, you white, of course you don't like me, but when it's coming from people that look like me, I'm like, wait, I don't get it. You guys talk about spirituality and sisterhood and unity and black power and this, and it's like, wait a minute, black people don't like black people. Sisters don't like sisters. Wait a minute. So it's very much I don't want to take on the role of a leadership. I'm like scared to take that on. I rather grow a community so everyone can feel empowered because I don't feel perfect, and that's probably why some of us probably could come in as perfections. But someone like you, remember I told you when I first tapped in, you're older than me, but now they're telling me not necessarily because I had to upgrade in terms of spiritually speaking. I don't like talking about because I speak really high in metaphysics that people are like, what are you talking about? So I don't want to go that far. Yeah. I don't want to say I'm dumbing it down. That's why I'm teaching a priestess course. And I'm like telling the, spirits, the most high, the divine, like, how am I supposed to teach this? Don't worry. Hydrate, meditate, sun gaze, and fast. Do the work. Do the spiritual work. Do the spiritual call. Do my part. And then it will come. So it's a process. So people, all men, all women, children, that way children could feel empowered, communities to be empowered, because in spirituality there is a people that do not feel empowered at all, and they're leading thousands, and it's like, whoa, that's scary. Thousands, they're leaders, they're well known, and then they're jealous of other people, and you're like, whoa, how? Because they're willing to sell out, they're willing to do this, they're willing to do that. So then when someone like me or you or me for sure, when I come on, they're like, oh, she doesn't have any for followers. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing this for looks. Because if I sat here and told you what I've been through spiritually with the Stanford Mason police officers, Berkeley uses fairy magic. Oakland doesn't use magic. The black community don't use magic. I'm always talking to the Stanford, but you're not using it. You're not using it. Yes, they need to be using it. They need to use the ancestors that are here. Because the ancestors that are here don't necessarily favor anyone at this point. They're very frustrated with all of humanity, but they will, it's like anything else, who's feeding them? Who's talking to them? Who are they able to communicate with? People like me, people like you, those of us that are able to have spiritual gifts.
Thousands of years ago, as you know, when they overthrew the priestesshood, the priestesses had the great goddesses had to take the gods into the earth, and then those of us that were their delights, we were the delights of their hearts and eyes. They loved us because they created us from their own spirit and genes and soul, right?
Sorry.
And so it was a war. They said we're going to destroy the great priestesses. This was, like you said, a female planet, right? Positioning us in material belongings, in status. Regardless, the reason why they're jealous is because they're smart enough to know that we're the vibration, we're the reincarnation of those that they are supposed to serve. We're those that they're supposed to put their life on the line for and learn from. And we're like the Shaka Zulu. We're the one that, and they're the ones that come in that with that undying loyalty and love. But because things have been inverse, they're the ones that are undying jealous and hate. But until people see that this is a whole fake reality, inverse from the way it would be real and best, then we see it in these little, that logic, male, masculine mind, make you see things separate and then try to figure it out little by little. But when you see it as a whole and how it all vibrates as one, you realize, hold on, this is an inverse reality. This person wants to be my enemy and is playing out this part and giving off this hostile energy and trying to sabotage me, even though they have more than me. And that's a real hard thing to figure out. And I respect you for that, because what people don't know when we're talking about it is there being, if we had millions of dollars, if we had all the donations, if we had millions of followers and stuff, we could better the world more than these people that do that.
We would. We would do what we're supposed to do. That's obvious. You know, people sell out. They're willing to sell out because they want followers, they want money, they want this, they want that. My download for my mentor was that her job is to teach the chosen ones. She has thousands of chosen ones that come to her, and she's supposed to service, and she'll upgrade spiritually if she built the community of, you know, because we're a team in heaven. We're all team. We're all, you know, we come down, and her job was to teach, and she's still teaching, but I'm kind of scared. I hope she still has a certain level of morality. Anyway, I'm not to get into it because it gets deep with me and my mentor. My connection with her is that, you know, it's sacred, but she should know better. And, you know,
she's not you. And that's what I just saw a video that it showed a tigress, and she was on her second thing of cubs, and her eldest was a daughter. And she was she was past teenage. The daughter was a big full-blown tigress. And this is in nature in India and stuff. And the mother had to beat her up because she had such a tie with her mom and respected her mom and wanted to be around her mom. But it was time for her to go out and mate and stuff. And she was kind of resisting it still. And so the mother nutted up on her and like rolled her up real quick and ran her off. But you could see the mom was really resisting it. She was like in agony. But she wants her to reproduce and be able to get the best out of life. And you could see after she was just laying there like trying to figure out, and then they followed her for about a month, and she ended up stopped beating it. She was beating this dude tiger up. And finally he wouldn't give up, and finally he fought this other tiger and he won. I think she was really preparing him for that. And then they made it and had some solo story. The thing is, she ended up better than her mother. And I think that's kind of like, it's hard because I have been bonded with an older brother, and that shit hurts. Like when they're, it ain't about their flaws, it's just when they get jealous. You know what I mean? When they, that hurts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you know they're better than that, but for whatever reason, and I think I just personally realized you got to let them totally go.
Yeah. People misuse their third eye. She was snooping spiritually. Looking in, like, you know, she would close her eyes because, you know, I mean, I could do it too. I could do it, but I don't waste my time, energy on doing that. I'm always trying to figure out my stuff, what I have to do, and balance my personal life, my spiritual work, you know, so I don't have time to snoop. I imagine you know, they were saying she would even schedule me in her calendar along with.
Oh, what?
I was like, whoa, damn, I didn't know it was that important.
Clyde. That's crazy. Yeah. There's a lot of crazy witchcraft going on, where sabotage going on, where that's real bad right now, isn't it?
A lot.
Like the elders are like really sabotaging the younger. And I think now you got me thinking about it. It's like it was a lot of buster ass dudes. There was like priests, they were Babalos, or they were like Rastas. When I lived in Jamaica, they were, and when I lived in South Africa, they were Sangomas. And every time not every time, brothers from South Africa was all right. But have you heard of Credo Mutwa?
No. Credo?
He's a South Mutwa. He's a Zulu, a high priest, Sangoma. In 2008, I went to visit him because I had a guy I used to correspond with named David Icke. He's like real famous. I don't know if you probably heard of him.
I think I've heard of David Icke. He's funny. Yeah.
He's from Britain. He real cool.
Is he? Well, I know, I think his name is Ike.
He exposed like a lot of the reptilian. He the one that exposed all the, like how the elites.
The one that I know is he's a pastor. Was he a pastor? And he was national? Yeah. No.
Against religion.
But, but his name was David Icke. It was weird.
You're right. It is a Ike. It is a David Icke pastor. Huh?
Yeah, he talked about spiritual, metaphysical stuff. It was deep. It was conflicting.
Yeah, you're right.
I was like, am I supposed to listen to this? Because this is pretty deep spiritual stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Damn.
Yeah, he says, I believe in God, but I believe that.
I think his name was David Icke. His name is Reverend Icke. He's one of the best reverends in the history of the United States. That brother teaches us that we are God.
Yeah.
And God is.
Yeah.
And he was pro everything that we about. He was about it. And they couldn't do nothing to him.
Well, because he was in the frequency. They couldn't. I watched a video where he was talking about, I have $1 million church and it's about money. And the guy's like, don't you feel bad to be talking about money? He goes, no, I talk about money, but I talk about it like basically the way, like he's saying, like most people have a certain inferiority complex about money. Well, Black people, he speaks specifically. We feel that Black people feel that money is the root of all evil. And the guy's like, don't you feel bad? Money, but I talk about it. I know it's messed up because like I'm supposed to be on YouTube. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this.
That's how she look on YouTube, y'all. Yeah.
I don't know how to do this. I'm trying to make it where it works. So
I got you. I got you. We just gonna have to do like a video chat on Zoom or Google, and then I can show you how to do it.
Yeah.
I'll be doing it. That's part of what I do. I'll be helping people get stuff.
Yeah,
But I wanted to say, like, Credo Mutua, I went and actually sat down with him before he passed away back in 2000, right before it turned 2009 in South Africa. And like, he let me know, he told me, you don't come from a world where you need a leader. You come from a world, these are different worlds. The United States and Europe, you are the leader. You're too old to be, and you don't need them to validate you. He kept the 2 times I went to him, he said, you have to break that. It's a spell on you. You have to just be it. You're above everyone. And all you have to do is be humble and serve them. He said, that's when you're going to be able to do everything you need to do.
The humble part is what I think a lot of spiritual leaders need to, because what happens is when people become leaders, they think they're the end all be all. They think that no one's better than them. And then the whole thing is you're supposed to want your students to be greater than you, if need be, because you're going to leave. You're going to, you have, even if you ascend, you're not going to be here. It's different.
Exactly.
So you shouldn't be holding and sabotaging your students,
Spring power.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
I had to put him up because I haven't listened to him in a while.
Yep, I love him. I love what he says. Oh my God, I'm gonna show you the interview. Because they were like, oh, so you have Cadillacs. He goes, no, my church has 16 Rolls Royce. And I give, but he explains he gives back to the community. And that's because that's because I give back to the community. I teach all my followers how to be in love with money. Don't let money manage you and this and that. And because a lot of Black people I say all people in poverty, people of color have a certain level of mentality of inferiority. So we feel we are managed by money. That's why we feel we have to go into a job instead of creating. But what thing was different about mine, that my message is misconstrued, is that my calling is supposed to be, we're supposed to be able to close our eyes like these Mason Stanford occultists that just literally manifest. Because Bobby Hemmett, I don't know if you heard of Bobby Hemmett. He says
Bobby Hemmett the first time in 1997.
He says what I'm explaining. You met him in person?
1997.
97?
About him and Phil Valentine in Atlanta.
Oh man, I wish I got to meet them. I was like, that was in 97. I wish that I knew. I was a little girl. But that, I probably wouldn't understand. It was a long time ago for me, but still, that's pretty cool. But he speaks about he says exactly what I'm saying, what my downloads are. Those who really create now, like creating the second level, the level that these occultists are in, they don't manifest with money. They manifest from the nothingness. They know how to tap in. They know how to just move timelines, change history books. Why? Because they understand existence. Because you're like, how does the whole world? That's because they know how to change the timeline. I talk to them. And I've had in spiritual time, not in person, I've had because a lot of places that I go to are Caucasian. So the Caucasians. I hate to make up race, but it is.
No, it's okay. I know what you're talking about.
Because that's what I dealt with throughout my whole journey was men of all races.
I just gotta grab something that's behind this.
Sure, go ahead.
This tables, but I'm listening. I hear you.
Okay, okay. I've had to deal with men. I've had to deal with the masculine. So it's a big boys club. So I think even men, if they're racist, you guys could sooner get along than I think sisters. But I don't know. I'm usually on my own and very focused on my own life. So that's another thing. I need to go out there and start a community. But spiritually, I've been hit up by brotherhoods like it's crazy. And when I went into, I don't want to say the city, but I go into a lot of white neighborhoods because those are the better neighborhoods out here in California. And one of the police officers, the few of them would come to me and explain to me they're the Aryan Brotherhood, Ku Klux Klan. And I'm like, oh yeah, so they're occultists. No wonder they're occultists. What's running this is the occultists. And it's exactly what Bobby Hemmett used to say. Black people don't use the magic. So like I said, when I'm in Stanford and when I'm in Berkeley, I'm literally feeling the download of fairy magic. I'm like, I speak light language, and I could feel the energy and it gets deep. So, and even in Berkeley, one of the professors came forward. It gets deep. I don't know how much am I supposed to say, but there's a lot of magic all over California, but people don't tap into it. And the way to tap into it is meditation, sun gazing, going out, really genuinely understanding magic comes from within you, and understand that this physical realm is the illusion, the holograph. It's an illusion. So you got to spend hours closing your eyes and meditating. And that's the hardest part. So because especially you get distracted, this and that, and a certain level of discipline comes about when you start taking the time to see the illusion. So a lot of these Masons, I don't know how they go about their mysticism because I didn't really go into it, but they're mystics. The police officers, those are mystics. The government, those are mystics. The schools, Harvard. I'm not in the West, I'm not in the East, but I'm sure Harvard has their mystics. Stanford does, Berkeley does. A lot of these universities have their mystics, have these Kappa, Gamma, I don't know, they're mystics. They're a boys club. They're real serious about their shit. They love their boys. They down. And I'm like, well, damn, bitches need to be like this. And they're like, down with the women, down with the women. And it was sad because one time I was walking and I got a whole download of what they do to women in order to, because this is a female realm. And the only right way a realm could be dominated the way it is harnessing the children and binding the women. They do, like you said, they do take down the priestess, the witch, the feminine. That was my download. And I stopped in the middle of the street like a crazy woman crying. And I had to sit down to the side because it was like, and I was like, that's too much. So,
Yeah.
but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to let everybody take that in because I think they need to receive what you just put out. I think it's important that they get. They're putting out their methods of their wickery and how they can constantly control their own energies and tap into abundance. But I wanted to say you have to also know that they did and they do cast their spells based off of zero sum.
Off of what?
Zero sum. Say it with me. Zero sum game.
Zero sum game?
Yeah. So what's going on is reason why about 4,000 years ago, 4,500 years ago, there was some great interruptions coming into his world where, wormholes, basically stargates were opened up and certain principalities and energies came here, which were contrary. I spoke of it earlier. They were contrary to the great priestesshood and the balance on this world that we live in, and being one with nature instead of being aggressive against it. You know what I'm saying? And being cosmic, constantly expanding and being instead of being stagnated. And so when they came here, they start pushing that agenda, and now what we're seeing is their bloodlines are those billionaires. Though they're parasitical, so everything, they didn't have human bodies, what we know to be human bodies when they first got here. So that was something they had to take on, whereas we were extensions of the great mothers and the great fathers beyond space and time, the emolis, the immortals, and as they manifested themselves as netters, netterus, or orishas, vunduns, or bosums, and then different languages, the forces of nature, right? But we are, as gods or goddesses or human beings, we are nature observing itself and experiencing itself. They even did that, which is what we are. But then they were under attack by what? Parasites, vampires, instead of expanders, constrictors. So even in this, what is called, we're not in the Asamando, we're not in the Aru, we're not in the heaven. You know what I'm saying? We're not in the Odum, we're not in the heaven. We're in the great marketplace. So there's competition. You, the great mothers, balanced the marketplace where we could take our mangoes and our cabbage and go upriver and trade with the other peoples in peace. And they would give us their special things that they gave us. And we did it across great waters and great lands. We even interbreeded with each other, right? And so what's going on is those that, even if they're not of the original bloodlines, they got the demonic spirit. And the reason why I say demonic, because I know a lot of people can relate with it, but they took the dark, deceased, reptilian, demonic, or whatever you want to call it, spirit into them. Those are the people that are running the world. So what's happening is they're not just on this they're lying. They're not like Reverend Ike and you. Even those spiritual teachers that are hypocrites and fake are not like Reverend Ike and you. They're not Malcolm X's and Harriet Tubmans and Martin Luther King's. They're not. Or they're not, they're like Steve Jobs. They're parasitical. They're like, they got those evil spirits can jump in and out of generations and they make sure that whoever has the power over the resources and whoever's tapping into that panpsychic field, Black people don't know or poor people don't know. There are literal panpsychic entities, panpsychic, non-physical beings, entities, restricting you because you are melanated, restricting you because you are poor. They literally are playing a zero-sum game in a spiritual level. And when And that's what I wanted to put out there. It's beyond, and that's why we have to do this. We have to unite so that we can psychically be on the same vibe. And then all of a sudden, watch will start happening. All of a sudden, a paycheck will come in the mail. The bank can accidentally put $1 million, $10,000 in your account. Won't even want to pay. But not alone.
Yeah, it takes
A village, but you don't know.
a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. It's a spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual warfare. There every single day they attack, they attack, they attack, they attack. I think for me, I think I had more spiritual trauma than I've ever had physical trauma in my life. But I'm always meditating, and my downloads are is don't quit. Don't quit. You've upgraded. And I've seen past the illusion before, and I wasn't ready really because I was at work. It happened at work where I saw everyone to be me and me to be everyone. And I saw like it was deep, but I was in the middle of work. So I'm like, how is this possible? This is not the right time. So I wasn't ready to play those heavy games. So some of the occultists that do come into channel, like, well, you should have took the game by now, would be able to play it. I'm like, I don't worry about it. You know, if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen again. So it's just deep.
How do you be so humble? How do you like knowing this is who you are? Look how you look right now, right? Look at what your vibe is. How do you get around these people?
Let me take off the filter. This is how I look. Without the
Well, not just to look. I mean, you around them and you want to manifest. You want to be like, just like don't be like you know, or like no. You just want to.
I get mad. I get mad, but in order to do spirituality, it's not for the faint of heart. It's said like all the time, but it's not. I was mad when I channeled. If I tell you the names of the people that are famous spiritually online, you know, if I told you them, I was hurt. He was saying, yeah, I see when you watch my videos. That's what they do. They use their third eyes to snoop. They use their third eyes to do this and that. And I'm like, I know I watched your video. I'm your fan. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? I like your
But
stuff.
you're a threat to him all the time.
Huh?
To him, you're a threat.
Yeah. And that's confusing because to me, it's like, wait, I like your stuff. That's the same thing with my mentor. She's a woman. So it's not even a gender thing. It's not even a race thing.
Look, a lot of spiritual people and artists, let me tell you something. A lot of spiritual people and artists, they can't get past their ego. They can't get past their emotions, man. They want to be the one. But how can we unite like that?
You can't be better than them. They always telling me, oh, do the work, do the work. What do you mean? You don't see my content? I had videos out. I've had I've only been on this journey as like openly since 2020. But I've been awakened, understanding things because I've had a near-death experience when I was 12 years old that I regressed because it didn't go with the religion, because I grew up Catholic, very, very Catholic. Went to Catholic school, very Catholic. And I had like a very, well, now that I understand, a very mystical experience out of my body, seeing my classmates. It was deep. So I'm like, so I regressed it. Not till I was 28, while I was doing nursing 10 years ago, did I start progressing, understanding I had a near-death experience, like all the millions of other people that have near-death experiences.
Wow.
And we learned that, you know, this is just temporary. This is an illusion. I felt love, unconditional love. That feeling is glorious. And I would always say like, wow, why can't we bring that type of power here? And we can't. They keep saying humanity needs to take a certain level of meditation seriously, connecting to the earth, connecting to the ground ourselves to the sky as well, because that was new download. I didn't know you can ground yourself to the sky, but it's like a connection.
Shoot.
Yeah, you ground yourself to the sky and ground yourself to the earth and connect from the inside and do it for, hours, they're saying. As long, the longer the better. We're technically supposed to be outside for hours.
At night, not just day.
Not just day, yeah, nighttime too. We're supposed to be connected. We're not connected. So that's probably why they made us have COVID. There was probably a big thing that was happening around the world, and COVID happened. So-called COVID happened. So everybody has to be inside the house, the shots, the vaccination, everything, so it's like, so it makes it very, very hard because a lot of people,
But you have to realize something.
Mhm.
You have to accept something. Not everybody is a sentence.
No.
It's getting, look, Repentance Day, repent from your sins when the gates of heaven open up, hell's closing in. Repentance Day, repent for your sins when the gates of heaven open up, hell's closing in.
Mhm.
That's what's going on. It's like, it is a hypocrisy to want to save everybody.
Mhm. Mhm.
So who are your ones? Who are you for? It's like when they say you can't market if you don't know your demographic. That's the first thing, one of the first most important things.
Mhm.
It's true spiritually too.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Because what if you're feeding the enemy? Where will you be? 8 in the end by them.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My demographics, spiritually speaking, are oracles, are priestesses, and greater than oracles,
Greater than oracles.
if need be. Need be, because we're infinite. We're infinite. So there is the return of the priestess, is the return of the Delphi female, is return of the rise of the divine feminine. At a certain level of matriarchy is very inclusive of patriarchy, of father. Matriarchy is very inclusive of father.
There's no patriarchy without the mothers.
Yeah.
Shine a light.
Yeah, it's supposed to be both. Yeah. And it's supposed to be protection at the end of the day for children. Because, like they're always talking about the island, Epstein Island. But right here in California, they showed me what they do here underground. And it's
underground.
It's disgusting. This might as well be Epstein Island in California.
How about me and you do a talk about that, because I have some experiences about that I wanted to share.
Yeah, it's sure, no problem. It's really, really gross. So like they do certain level of magic too with the children.
Mm-hmm.
Magic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it gets deep. So that's probably what they're doing over there in the island or wherever this island's at. And so that's why back in the day, they told me the download was like some certain children would come all knowing. They would teach the elders. Children were regarded with such respect. And today, no one regards children. No one cares about children.
Everyone listen to one of the world's biggest lies. We're all supposed to teach the children. Why would you be teaching a soul that's a million times smarter than you?
Mm-hmm. The children would come all knowing, and the elders, they would teach the elders. That's what they told me. Like, you know how there's child prodigies? It would be a phenomenon. It would happen. It would be more frequent. Now they couldn't have that happen because if they do, it's sacred. And that's where they leave that because, children do get hurt.
That's the most important part of this whole conversation is what you just said.
Yeah. People need to protect the children.
Yeah. Sleep around every
So
children.
I personally It's some very, very divine, intelligent, and skilled young teenagers and adults, young adults that could lead this world to a way better place. But I know you're not my age, but I'm gonna tell you something I see about older people. That's a tendency going on with the people that are going to be stuck into the reincarnation loop forever or whatever. And reincarnation is not all bad. You can be incarnated into perfect Edenic worlds. I mean, reincarnation thing is the worst thing in the world. That's not, in fact, it's a good thing, but they're not going to be incarnated in the good because they getting older. They're getting more materialistic, more egotistical. They want to prove something to the world. They want to be right. You know, they can't learn. They don't want to. It's one thing or another going on with them that's real bullshitty. You know, you 60 years old, you got about 5 years left. Why is money the most important thing in the world to you? Why is the material thing? Why does a woman have to be from your damn rib? What's wrong with you, man? Goddamn. Like, yo, you telling me you this, I don't want you around me, man. You know, your retardation probably rubs off on people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get stupider. Like, god dang, like, man, this is the stupidest shit that come out of people.
How was it for you? What was your awakening like back in the 90s? You said you woke up in the 90s?
Yeah, great question. And if you want, we could do a talk about it. I actually have written out some stuff to talk about my awakening because I've been being encouraged to talk about it by a close spiritual friend of mine. My 18th birthday, we were having my birthday at a party in Riverside. I just got released from a case. I was stuck in New York for 6 months because of something I was doing that was illegal. I used to be in the streets. I like money, right? And I like to travel. And
Hi, Goddess.
so like,
Sorry, I want to say hi real quick. Peace, peace, Goddess. Thank you for being here. Go ahead.
Peace, Goddess. Yeah, but it all started with surviving some of the worst stuff that happened to me. I was kidnapped and it went bad. You know, I was moving white powder, okay? I was not who I am today. I'm a transformative being. And like, I wasn't one of them stuck type of dudes in the hood. I was going state to state with it and doing big things, you know? And like, I was set up and it was a good thing that I look back on it because I was pretty much going to be dead the next day. With who was setting me up the next day, I wasn't going to make it out alive, but I had to pay. And so the payment was a kidnapping, a serious beatdown, a robbery. I was saved at the last second. My neck was broke in the process because I was a football player in high school and I had injured my neck. And I was so in the streets, I never would go back to the doctor so they could do what they were supposed to do. So in the process of that kidnapping and that beatdown, my neck was broke. And so I was healing, but I was still in the streets. I still didn't give up about nothing. And I was like really violence driven. Like my dad was like that and I hardly knew him. My mom was rough. And so it was like, I had reasons to go to the street that weren't right. I wasn't going to do the right thing. So I ended up getting beat down in the street again. And it was like I went into like some kind of state, I think. It was like you said, what do you call it? A near-death experience?
Yeah.
And I realized that everything was an illusion. It was a big lie. That I was a spiritual being. It was like those cartoons when somebody get knocked over the head and all of a sudden they get right. That's what happened to me in real life. It took a couple of beat downs Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear
There you
me.
go.
I'm
There you
sorry. I didn't realize you couldn't hear me.
No, but I'll just answer your question. And then the reason why I knew I was right is because I never had a birthday party before, but on my 18th birthday, my my uncle, he had came into a lot of money. He from Vegas, so he had came to Cali, picked me up for about a month before my birthday, and on my birthday, he popped back up, picked me up, and took me to this club, and they were having KRS-One was having the first in 1993, they had in Palm Springs, they had the first annual hip hop, whatever you call it. It was like a big gathering. So the place where they were having my thing, it was like this casino joint where they had this club. Tupac came in there and we kicked it for my birthday. And I was worried about that case in New York that I was fighting. And also I had a lot of people out to get me. But I had been going through, I wasn't too good at reading back then, but I was reading through all these spiritual books. And nobody knew about it. And it was like I didn't realize what I was doing at the time. And I wasn't wanting to be around negative people no more. And I wasn't, I was letting people get away with things. I wasn't hurting them. I was very vicious. And I was just like awakening. And like, I was real bad down over those cases because I was waking up, but at the same time, I was facing a lot of time. But God, God is there. It let me know when Tupac came in there, nobody talked to him. People were just one chick, she following him around. He walked all around. The DJ let everybody know he was in there. They turned the lights on so he can get props. He was balling. Boy, Pac had a big ass neck. He was papered up. You can look at him. He was a rich man. And he had walked around. He got over there to it. My uncle sitting there getting cherries fed to him and fruits. All these sisters sitting there with him. I'm 18. I'm sitting there. I'm a full-blown thug. I don't care about women, all that type of stuff. I'm just trying to count my money and get some paper. Trying to figure out and read these spiritual books. It's like I'm like a walking contradiction. And I'm sad and scared because I'm going to have to face this time in New York and all this stuff. And like, Pac walked over there. I jumped up, hugged him, told him it was my birthday. We were celebrating. I'm June 11th. He's June 14th or something like that. So he's like, my birthday in a couple of days. Woo, woo, woo. You got to come up to Oakland. And he was like, man, the next day, my uncle, we drove up there. We followed him. His manager gave me a job. We went up there and kicked it for a day. And he just let me know, man, you ain't got to worry about that. His manager helped me get an attorney. I got off the case. And from there, all my prayers was if you do this for me, I don't know what you are, God or whatever they call you, but if you do this for me and get me out of this, I'm going to do the right thing with my life. And that was how it started. It was like literally that's what happened to me in real life. That's what happened. And the fact that I love Tupac, I remember that same night we had drove there listening to him and Redman, but the last tape we put in was Tupac. And I was memorizing, and my uncle was like, you love him, like he the hardest rapper. And it was 93, or it was middle of 93. He didn't believe I was his big fan, so we went outside to show him. When my uncle turned on the Cutlass, he started playing his song, and I started rapping it. That's why he just was like, man, you got to come up here for my birthday. And remember, it was my birthday. Yeah. So it was like, and that's what made me know, like, he told me, man, don't sell that dope, man. All them dope dealers want to kill me. That's why they tripping on me. And like, don't even be a rapper. He was like, man, just do the right thing and this and this. And I just listened to him. And I just kept learning more spiritual stuff. Like I said, I met Bobby Hemmett and Phil Valentine, but even more importantly, I met Jewel Pookrum. I met Jewel Pookrum in 1996. I was very spiritually devoted. I met Jewel Pookrum and Dr. Delbert Blair before I met Bobby Hemmett and Phil Valentine. Wow. I traveled around on my own. I went, it was 1996 when I first went to Jamaica. I went up to the Bobo Hill I went to the Nyambingi Hills. They was all, I was very, you know, I keep it to myself because I just feel like,
I haven't gotten to meet, I don't think any spiritual, I will, I don't know, any spiritual leader, not really. I mean, you're a spiritual leader.
well, that's the point of the talk though, is actually, if we did the right thing, it'd be people one day. If we work together, you, me, and whomever else, that's what they had. That's what they had. What we're not doing now. They used to work together. They saw the value in each other, and they supported each other and put each other out. It was a whole different time.
You listen to your mom, really? How she treats her?
Like you said, all this jealousy and competitiveness.
Everybody else has patience.
You know,
And time and money.
it's part of the test, I guess. Honestly, just from going through your videos, sitting here doing my stuff I got to do in my studio, I'm sitting here. Once I found your YouTube, through your Instagram, I'm listening to a lot of your stuff. I'm like, man, this sister is cleaning house.
Yeah.
Like you burning the fire, like you burning out all that hypocrisy, you letting the waters out to do the cleaning after the burning. You burning the fire and doing the water, you letting the water out to clean. So they need to know you, and they need to be having a conversation in 5 years and 10 years saying they met you. It's just that we got to work together. They work together.
Yeah.
They didn't wait to meet nobody. They did honor the elders that was
they came before them. I do believe in respecting those that came before you, because this spiritual journey is not easy. They don't want humanity to wake up. They don't want anybody to wake up. And when you finally like wake up, you're fighting. You're already in fighting, and you're like, whoa, I woke up to a fight.
Exactly.
I know this was a fight.
I woke up to a fight.
Yeah,
I want to share something with you.
the ancestors left me a fight.
A fight. And you know, I didn't know that. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. I just went and got this from one of my authors. Because my whole realm of existence is full of authors. So this is one. And so that's Yemaya, right? It's not a normal if you look within it. Because really an energy transfer mechanism. But my point with this, showing you that this is not Yemaya for me. This is the spirit of Yemaya is the reason why I go to the ocean. But this is the great waters for me. Tefnu. Yes, Yemaya too. But it's also the great expanse, which is called space. The great expanse of which we're blessed with every time the sun fades into its dark phase. It's not going down. The earth isn't round. It's not doing what they said. It's going into a daily, nightly, whatever you want to call it, a cyclical phase, a routine phase. It's her time when the great Yah-Yeh, the great moon, the moon manifests. So in the front, when you walk into my studio here, in this altar here, which I was showing earlier a little bit, she's in the front. I might as well show you, but I wanted to show you something else. Complementing her energy is another great sentient being known even not only in the water world, but also here on the land, all peoples, whether they're gorillas, chimpanzees, horses, all peoples knows of the dolphins and the whales. People say, well, that's just a net. No, it's not. Because my consciousness knows it connects with these. This is the importance of having these in your home, and in your altars to be visible. A reminder of your soul. It brings peace to your soul. And this is a great mother well. As you see, we're honoring the great mothers and fathers of the depths. Great Yamaya, great Olakun, and a great daughter, Ajay. But we're recognizing the great families of the great mother, which is the great waters and also is the great expanse.
I've had a channeling where and after this I have to go because I just realized I have to go. I've been here for a while to go. But when speaking of waters, there was a channeling that I got where that one is that a tooth?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's, or are those shells?
Shells and a tooth.
And a tooth. Oh, okay, okay. I had a download that was saying what comes first because human origins are more esoteric. They explained to me, and this is deep, this is controversial. That's why I don't know my audience, really, like you said. I don't know my audience because the stuff they give me is deep. They said it's esoteric, what is human beings, what we call human beings. The staple human being is a process because we didn't look like this. They're saying the origins of human beings, some human being origins are from the waters. Some human beings' origins are from the inner earth. Some human origins come from the heavens, the stars. So, so to play the game of racism, because I was getting occultist racist, I was like, you do not want us to play the game of racism, because if we really, really have to choose human beings, what beings, it would be the earthlings, the original inner earth beings, and they do not look like us. So some of us are not human being, even though I look human being. Some of the occultists, they reincarnate themselves. This is how.
What if your blood and my blood is mixed with them inside the earth?
We are mixed with the inner earth beings. We are inner earth beings. A lot, especially, I don't want to say, but especially people like that are in the islands, and they hold a crystalline vibration, like back as in Atlantis, and Atlanteans.
Moon.
The moon, yes. A lot of stuff. It's deep. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I should be saying this. I don't want the controversy.
Do you think that they would, like, if for some reason me, you, and others were walking and we just slipped into the Grand Canyon and we had backpacks, we had stuff so we could stay a week, enough a week. And we decided to just keep walking. And we ran into like all that Egyptian and Mayan stuff. And we walked into there. How you think they would treat us? Those that live in there.
The inner earth beings are afraid to show themselves because they don't look like us. They don't necessarily look like the staple human being. Like I have, like, for instance, let me give you a quick, if this makes sense. Like, I have Chinese blood, but I don't look Chinese, right? Like, Chinese, what you mean black? I am black, but I got Chinese blood, and I know that's because of spiritual warfare with the Chinese out here. I learned that I'm Chinese.
Yeah.
But so that's the same thing with the human beings. The staple human beings we don't look like the inner earth beings necessarily. So that's why they don't come forward. It's very sacred. There's another word for it, they're saying, and it might scare the Jesus out of it.
What's the other word? I drew this in 1999 for a book that I wrote.
Wow.
I painted it, I created the whole thing. But what
That's probably how they look. Who knows? I don't know. But I know they're not human. A lot of the beings that are around that we don't see, a lot of them are afraid to come forward because we're not used to seeing them.
Well, back to what you were saying earlier, and about this is the thing going on, man. Sister, I apologize. It has to be our demographic. And the only reason I'm using that word is to relate with you. We can come up with better terms. We need to come up with better terms. Because therefore, if we have special terms that we use, like the Rastafarians do, we'll solve the code issue. Because our people got a problem, and very high level spiritual people got a problem with being on code. Well, if you don't speak an agreed upon lingo, you will have a problem being on code. And so I just wanted to say that this is real elite. Everything you've been saying, it's elite. You can't go to the grocery store, and let's say Black people, you can't go to the grocery store and talk to a Black woman about all this stuff. Because that's not their programming. They're a positive woman, a very intelligent woman, but they getting that money. They living that good life, or they're trying to make it through whatever they're going through, or just enjoy the day. But that's why I said I call us ascendants. Because whether they want to believe it or not, this is who we are.
All of us.
Both with a sense of humor at the same time.
We just need to wake up to it. And it's like I said, like the challenges I get are so heavy. And basically everything we've learned is wrong. Like we live in a fake existence, illusion, and we uphold it, and it's not. That's why we're imbalanced. That's why we die, because we don't believe in eternity. It's deep. So we don't believe we're immortal. Everything is based on belief. Yeah.
We're too busy trying to use our ability to believe to become a millionaire, instead of using our ability to believe to be great.
Yeah. So
most people have a certain seniority complex about money. Well,
It's still stuck on that because I paused it. But thank you for
yeah, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna tell everybody thank you for everyone that's here, that's gonna see this later. I'm gonna tell my YouTubers thank you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I have a lot more in store. I have a lot of heavy channelings. I might even call it heavy channelings. So, don't get hurt by any of it. If it's too much, I understand, because it's too much for me as the channeler when I get these channelings.
Do you mind if I give a shout out to everybody? I'm David Dimitri on YouTube, David Dimitri on David Dimitri Live in Color on YouTube, and I'm David Dimitri on Instagram. But also I'm OWU, the Original World Union, on YouTube, and that's where we're getting deep right now. We're addressing this cosmic energy changes on the Second Civil War in the United States, the cosmic energy changes related with World War III, and what y'all and everything, and what we need to do in order to make it through it. On OWU on YouTube.com, OWU on YouTube.com.
Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your time. I'll see you again soon. All right. Bye. Thank you for everyone here once again, all of you guys that were here. I'm going to end this live. Make sure